My notes here too. Hey Fems, happy Wednesday. I am Violette, I'm the founder of FemCity, and you're joining us today for our Wednesday Wisdom Series. I've asked these beautiful and amazing FemCity Global members to join us today for this discussion. Today we're going to talk about alignment, and these three women I think are experts in this field amongst other expertise that they bring to the table. We're going to dive in today. So before we get started, let's go ahead and have them share a little bit about themselves. Let's go to Karem. Share a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Violet. My name is Karem-Zafra-Vera, and I am a transformation coach. My passion is to empower women to really step into that light, that passion, that love for themselves.
Awesome. Let's go to Michelle. I have to look at my notes everywhere. Michelle, share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Budd. I'm a facial intelligence expert, so I help people get a good understanding of what's going on in their life and how to connect with other people in their business and their life using the face as the platform for human understanding.
Awesome. And let's go to Nicole.
Hi, everyone. I am Nicole Colwell. I am the leader for the Dallas FemCity Collective, and I am a business strategist and executive coach for entrepreneurs. I work with entrepreneurs of all levels, transitioning from corporate or employee to entrepreneur.
Awesome. All right, so let's dive in. And for those that are joining us live, yay, Tracy's joining us. Tracy all the way from Texas. Well, she moves around a lot with her beautiful home, so I don't know where she is today, but I think she's in Texas. If you are joining us live and you'd like to join us in this conversation, please feel free to add comments, ask questions. We are collectively here for you, and we want you to succeed in all things that you do. So please join us. And if you're watching this in the library weeks or months from now, feel free to also tag any of us or reach out to any of us. We're here for you. So let's talk about the word alignment for a little bit before we dive in, because some femmes might be watching and going, okay, I get that FemCity, that's your theme for the month of May, clarity and alignment, but I hear this word all the time and I really don't know what it means. Like, what does alignment really mean and how does it help you? Let's go to Karem for that.
Awesome. So alignment means to me, and I was thinking about this and how I can really emphasize this. And I think it's a combination for me and my own experience. It's a combination of peace, joy, and knowingness. So peace in the sense, not inner peace within ourselves. Peace in the sense that you can be in the center of chaos, but not be mixed with the chaos. So being able to respond instead of react to the chaos. Joy is a sense of that because you have peace, you have that sense of joy and happiness and fulfillment within yourself. And the knowingness is trusting that every action that you're taking is based on inspired, and you're asking for that inspired. So a combination of that brings a wholeness to me of, okay, I'm moving forward. I am in alignment. I feel connected to higher source, to spirit, to God. And I feel the peace within myself. And so that is what the combination of alignment is for me. And it serves you because then you have this, you live in this path, you live in this way that helps you, and you know that you're moving towards those results, towards that goal that you have set. You're muted, honey. Violet.
I've been doing that all day. I was thinking about today, Dean, one of our global members, reached out and she's like, Violet, you're always saying alignment. So she had like this merchandise idea. So Dean, if you're watching, I will reach out to you. But I say it all the time. And I truly believe it is the way to succeed is to have that alignment in place. So I'm so happy you shared all that. Michelle, what are your thoughts?
I think for me, alignment is being on purpose. So knowing that you're moving towards what your purpose is here. And even if you're not exactly on the right road, you can find your way back to it. So when you're aligned with what your life mission is, if you have a really strong vision of that, or even just a knowing that you're getting close, then you're in alignment. And so even when things come your way, as Karem was talking about, that you can find your way back to a sense of purpose, that so that you feel like, okay, my life is meaningful. And that, to me, that's what alignment really is.
Let's go to Nicole.
Ladies, that's so hard to follow up on. Those are such good definitions. And, kind of like you were saying, I have clients that come to me that are like, I hear alignment all the time. I really don't understand what you mean, right? And that's usually a good indicator that you're not in alignment. If you don't feel that connection and that flow and that things are moving forward for you. And you could be in alignment with certain things like your career or your business or your work, but maybe out of alignment in other places, and it's going to disrupt everything. So sometimes it's good to say, what is being out of alignment mean, to help you to understand what it is to be in alignment, right? When things just aren't working out for you, when things are not connected, when you don't have that motivation, to me, those are all symptoms of being out of alignment. So getting those things together, focusing in on your why, your reason for doing things, your reason for being here, your soul's purpose, those are the things that will move you towards being in that aligned state.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned kind of like what it feels like when you're not in alignment, because that's often how people can figure out, oh, then this is really for me. And just to kind of pull some of those golden nuggets that you shared, when you're not in alignment, I feel like you also say yes to a lot of things that keep you really busy. And then at the end of the week, you're like, I don't have more money in my pocket. Or at the end of the year, you're like, well, my goal of writing a book or being a coach or starting my own business or starting a side hustle or whatever it is. Like, I think that alignment, when you don't have it, when the other pieces are kind of falling apart, but you're really busy, you're really overwhelmed. I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff, but you're not seeing the results show up in kind of those components that we expect when we are in alignment. That to me is like a really big red flag. So if you're feeling like you're on this hamster wheel and you're going, and you're really busy, but you're not showing up the way that you are destined to show up, then this is a really good time for you to kind of review to see like what's really happening and reconnect yourself, perhaps for the first time, into that alignment, so you can actually move forward and become what this greatness that's waiting to shine. So at the end of the day, right, it's like femmes are watching and going, okay, I get it. I'm feeling like a hamster. I'm feeling like I don't have the alignment. Now what? What do I do? How do I get there? So I want to ask this question kind of twofold, is that what's your best advice for staying in alignment? Or what about those people that have never been in alignment? What would be your number one tip for them to really find that connection so they can move forward? We still have really good months in 2021. It is not too late. Now is the time to review your life and your business to see if it's really exactly in alignment with where you want to go. Let's go to Karem.
So I think for me, and this is practices, and I definitely tell my clients to go and move forward. And we've all heard it. Gratitude is a big process of it. But there's a certain depth and level of gratitude when you're doing the exercise of gratitude, or when you're actually feeling why you're grateful for it. So it's really important not only to do gratitude, but to go deeper level and ask, okay, why am I grateful for this? Because it becomes a more emotional attachment to you. Meditating for 15 minutes at least, it brings a sense, and it's not easy. I mean, I've been meditating, and it's something that I've been doing continuously, but I do it as often as I possibly can get myself to. And it's not, when you say, well, I can't silence my mind, or this, it's practice. Just the fact that you're doing the action, it will lead you to do. It's that practice makes the best thing. And then the third thing that I do is you ask for guidance. I think that when we ask, okay, well, what is a priority today towards that goal that I'm working on? What is the priority? What should I put in order? In which order? Like, allow for those inner thoughts, for your intuition to tell you what steps to take, and then ask for the order of them, and not judge them, not really judge them. And when you don't understand how it feels to be aligned, ask yourself, where do you want to feel better? Right? When you ask that question, you're going to know the answer. So when you ask that question, where do I want to feel better? That's where you want to begin. And that's the gift of the contrast.
Yeah. It reminds me.
Resetting and loving yourself. Sorry, but resetting and loving yourself. And it's not perfection. It's just love yourself, that every day is a little better.
Yeah. Yesterday I was laughing because Giselle taught one of our classes about purpose, and she reminded me, I totally forgot, but years and years ago, I was coaching her a little bit on some stuff, and she reached out to me, and we had just talked about alignment, and like 5 minutes later she was like, hey, so this opportunity came through, what do you think? And I was like, Giselle, is this an alignment? And she was like, no. And then I was like, well, then that means that you would say no to that. And I hadn't thought about it until yesterday when she said that to me, but it's a constant, when you're in alignment, it is the constant the evaluation or the reevaluation of the commitments that you either have presently or you are contemplating on taking on, and realizing, like, is this a good fit in my alignment or is it not? And if it's not, it's okay to say no, which I think is a really hard problem for women to not, because you feel bad. We want to commit to everything, or, oh, but it feels really good. And like, I really want to help and it's really exciting, but is it in alignment? So I'm so glad you brought that up. So Michelle, what's your number one tip?
Well, my tip for alignment, I think, starts with having a goal, because if you don't have a direction or something that you're aiming towards, then you don't know if you're in or out of alignment, because you're just kind of aimless all the time. And so, and that goal doesn't have to be crazy, and it doesn't have to necessarily be, with your business or with your health or with 10 areas of life. You just have to have something that you're aiming for, because then you can start creating, the GPS navigation route, and the universe can step in and help you as well. And then I think once you have that, then there are three things to consider. One is, who am I working towards this goal as? So do you know who you are? Do you know how you do the world and how you do it differently than everybody else? So you can have the same goal as 5,000 other people, but how do you do that? And then who are you doing it for? So why are you doing things? For whom? Because that will help you stay aligned with your purpose and that. And then who are you doing it because of? Because so many times we set a goal or we want to do something because we have to prove something to someone else, or somebody said, you have to do this, or this is how a woman behaves, or this is what a successful entrepreneur makes. And so we're doing things because of other people's constructs of how we've been conditioned to believe we have to show up. And then that can push us out of alignment with that purpose that we're moving towards. So when you think of those three things, then you can kind of figure out why you may be out of alignment, or maybe why that goal is, you'll never be in alignment with it because it's not for you. And it's not going to help the people that you love. And it doesn't work with the way you do the world, or you can reconcile all of that in some way.
Yeah.
Those are my tips.
And I love that. And it's funny that you say that, or not funny. It's amazing that you said that. Yesterday, we started our accountability program for May. And the first question I asked the femmes is, we talk about what's that one goal? And I talked to them about, is it your goal or is it somebody else's goal? Like, did you see it on social media and you were like, well, gosh, Nicole looks really good doing that. I want to do what Nicole's doing. And that's Nicole's goal. I'm just using it as an example, but it may not be Violette's goal. And so sometimes we take on these other goals because it looks really cool, or someone told us that should be our goal. So I love that you said that, like, really dive deep in and to say, like, what really is your goal? And not because somebody else really cool is doing it, or someone told you should be doing it, or, when you were little, that's what you thought. And, maybe you've evolved from that point. So it's no longer your goal. Maybe it's a new goal. I mean, gosh, even after 2020, I know like a lot of people change goals. So I love that you shared that, because I see that a lot in our accountability program of just, then they come back with like, oh, this is my goal then. It wasn't this anymore. And perhaps that could be the key for a really strong alignment, because now it's really connected to who you are profoundly. And we have some love that came through. So Kiki said, self-love is the answer, which we love. And then Tracy said, I love that, asking yourself if something is in alignment before you agree to bring it into your life. And that's the story of, I think, most women, right? We say yes to a lot of things when we really should be saying, no, this is not in alignment, or this is not really my goal right now, but let's check back later. Let's go to Nicole. Nicole, what's your number one tip?
Well, kind of building off of what Michelle said, I mean, getting very clear about your goal and your why, and really digging in deep to that. I know people are like, your why is so overused, but at the same time, it's so incredibly important to know why you're going after something. What is the reason? And then dig deeper on that. Tell me more about why and why else, and keep digging really deep to have a really strong, powerful why. But I think also that it's incredibly important is power of pause. If something's feeling out of alignment for you, stop. I tell my clients to literally stand up and take a step back, because there's power in that too, of doing that physical action. Take a step back and look at it differently and say, is this serving my goal? Is this serving the reason why? And taking that moment for yourself to really review and analyze, are these steps getting me towards that goal? Because those steps are what keep you in the alignment flow towards your goal, or to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, or to building a business, whatever it might be. And I think that's so incredibly powerful, is that pause. Just take a moment. It's okay. Take a few deep breaths, step back, look at the situation, and see if the steps you're taking are taking you where you need to go.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's one of the most powerful things that women can do, is just pause before diving into something, just pausing. And sometimes we feel like we can't, right? Like, I don't have time to pause. It's almost like the meditation. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time, but just that pausing, hearing you speak, Nicole, I was thinking about all the times in my life where I intentionally paused, because you're kind of like at a crossroad, you're just like, I don't know, let me just pause. And you feel like you don't have the time or the luxury to pause, but it always works out. It always works out. Love that. All right. So we're going to start closing out. So for those that are joining us, if you have any questions, now would be the time to share them. Or if you have any love, if you want to send any love, we love love. So final advice, Karem, and then how can femmes find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
My final advice would be to listen to yourself. There's always a voice that's speaking to you. You know when you feel good and when you don't. So just start to recognize it, like just hire a little bit of the volume on that voice of yours, that intuition, and start to trust it. And when you feel disaligned, just give yourself that little bit of love and say, you know what? I start again. Because every time that you reset and every time you start, every time you give yourself allowance, that's you being successful, right? I love being here. Thank you, Violet. This has been amazing. You can find me at Instagram, Karem-Zafra-Vera, and you can also email me, Karem-Fvera@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Michelle, your final advice, and how can femmes find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
Well, I think my final advice is just what I say often, just look in the mirror, because your face tells you what you need to know. And so when you see something blinking at you that feels different than it did yesterday, and you wake up feeling off, then pay attention and use your intuition to listen to what your reflection is telling you about where you might be able to get back into alignment with whatever it is that you're thinking of in the moment. So that would be my advice. And you can find me on Facebook, Michelle Butt there. And I have a Facebook group called The Prosperous Businesswoman. So if you'd like to join, we do face coaching on Fridays in there and really talk about how to understand who you are to make your life more full and prosperous. So I'd love to have more people there with us.
Love it. Thank you. And Michelle was our guest on the IGTV series. What was it, Michelle, 2 weeks ago?
I think so.
Yeah, it was amazing. So if you're fascinated with facial recognition, that is a great one to watch. And of course, I think you were on the podcast here as well. So anyway, I just wanted to plug that. All right, let's go to Nicole, your final advice, and how can femmes find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
Thank you, Violet. Such great advice from the other ladies. So thank you. And I think my final advice is definitely embrace that pause. It's so important, and give yourself some grace. like allow yourself to take that moment and to check in with yourself, do a review and say, am I out of alignment because I'm doing too much? Am I out of alignment? Why am I out of alignment? Why am I feeling like this? And give yourself a moment just to kind of self-analyze and see what you can do to get yourself back on track, and what makes you feel good is usually something that will get you back on track. You can find me at strategian.com. I'm across different platforms at Strategian, and my Facebook group is the Entrepreneur Foundry. So
Beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. This was amazing. All right, so we're going to close out. For those that joined us here live or watching this later on, we're so grateful that you joined us, and we hope that this helps you. Please keep in touch. Let us know how these tips helped you. We can't wait to hear about your success. And if you haven't tried FemCity, we invite you to head over to femcity.com, try it out for free for 30 days. And we're going to close out with Tracy's beautiful comment. This was a beautiful class. Thanks, ladies. And Kiki, thanks for all the love. And Janet joined us as well, another FemCity Global member. We will be back on Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. And we wish you a great rest of the week. For those that are here on the panel, just stay in the back room just for a little bit so you can take a quick picture. Bye.